Tired. Hold on. Hold on. I'm tired. Whoa. I don't know why I'm so sleepy. Sleepy like a beef. A beef cake. Sleepy like a beefcake. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? We are doing art. Arts and crafts. Arts and darts. Um, Arts and crafts, arts and darts. Hello. Wait, am I okay? Are you here? So I have decided to do the stream like a pro. Bruce. We do the stream like a pro with like a breakdown for 3 blocks. As I promised, the first block is art. Arts and crafts. Arts and arts. We're gonna draw. This is what all art is all about. Hold on. Gonna put on some music. And when my lovely viewers come here, we're going to, you know, what I mean? We're going to talk to you. I Corals, Miss Keith is manipulating you. Who is Mizzy Keith? Who is manipulating? What? Who? What? Uh, what the hell? Who is Miss Keith? I don't understand. I don't understand who this is. Who's
Friends that are
manipulating?
conservatives, I have no issue with people having friends that are a little racist, okay? But Emiru's always kind of tried to distance herself from the content that these people make, the opinions that they have.
She's friends with them for a reason.
And while I think it's okay
Hello,
to have a racist
Maraki.
chud friend, Asmongold is the #1 political
Yeah,
streamer
I
in
clicked
North
on
America.
Ico
He
just
has
so
the
you
most
can
views.
be
He has the
with
most
both of
live
us.
viewers. And simply put, his content serves to push people further in the direction of the right, a direction that likely does not benefit someone like Emiru. Which, listen, again, you can remain friends with that
Fake
person,
Ico
but
Parker,
people are going to
hello, why
ask
do
you
you
questions about that.
This part literally makes all
hate
3 of them look
me?
bad. Yes. Yes.
What is
Affiliation.
Yeah,
Emiru? Oh,
as far as having friends that are a little racist, a little,
literal
whatever.
racist?
I mean,
What do you
if,
mean?
there are people that, I'm trying to even remember people like that.
Who's manipulating me?
When was the last time I had a chud friend?
Chad Logic friend?
I don't even know. Someone that's actually racist. Like, you might have some racist family members or someone
I
that
don't
you
have
can
racist
escape
family
from,
members.
someone that you love, but
Aw,
it's like this, you know,
no, I
you
don't.
can't change them.
Nobody who I
But
love
like,
is
actually
racist.
racist is it's a brain poison.
Yeah,
If you were
true.
actually racist, you are brain poisoned, and it should not be treated as if it's a valid way to be. Yes, Chud logic is doesn't, his brain is fully pickled.
But she's not defending racist friends here. She grew up. She used to
I
be
have a brother
childish,
who's a
but now
Trump supporter.
she's.
He's a good family member to me. I see him at family
She used
events.
to be
I don't
childish,
hang
but
out with him
now
all day and
she
we argue
is
politics all the
like
time.
an
I know
old
he'll always
woman.
be a Trump ride or die.
Just like she should be.
Yes. But that's like a family member.
You
That's
can
a
cut
family
ties with
member.
family, you know? It's a thing you can do. Actually, you can escape.
I don't know. I just, at this stage in the game,
Game?
I feel like it's, you know,
Life is not a game.
you have, if you are still casually bigoted in this day and age, there's something
Wrong with you.
wrong with you.
Yeah. You're a pervert. What does that even mean to be casually
Like if you
bigoted?
see, if you can see the things that are going, it's not like, it's not a detached thing anymore. It's like you can see what's happening in the world, and you look at it and you're still
Yeah.
like, yeah, fuck brown people, fuck the, you know, all.
Whoa.
You
I mean, wanting to
are
fuck
lost.
people is a different. Whatever. Nobody will
I've
get my
had
joke.
friends from high school turn into chuds, and I am left wondering if I had missed
But
the
it's true,
signs or
though.
if they completely changed. I think,
You know?
you know, people can
What?
choose directions
It's
to go
true.
into. If you
It's
start
wanting to have
veering
sex
off
with
into the
people is
racism
different. You know?
zone, and you just keep going deeper that way,
Hello.
you know. Lightning, I'm not gonna answer any more
Okay,
hypothetical.
enough. I've had enough. Supergirl. Have you seen Supergirl? My adventures with Supergirl? What's this? Yeah, so many people. I wish I had people, but nobody likes me. You know what I mean? Right, we're gonna draw. Oh yeah, I promised to put on some. Oh no, we're not gonna put on some music. We're gonna watch someone. Who should we watch? This. Randy comes back to debate gender and has fallen apart. It's all the fault of the Jews.
Coming up, we got Randy from New York. Ooh, this is who knows how many times this has been a Randy calling to once again try to convince us that trans men and women are not men and women. Randy, if you can hear me, age and pronouns, please.
Top of the morning, Jovan, age 33. Pronoun he, him.
Good, we trained him well, chat. Okay, Randy, how are you going to convince me trans men and women are not men and women today?
I am not here to convince you and or anyone else. I am just here for an intellectual discussion with a intellectual person on the other end of the line. How are you today, my friend?
My friend.
I'm chilling, Randy. I hope you have an intellectual argument then. Let's hear it.
Yes. So I've been doing some thinking, right?
Oh God.
And
really?
I see where our problems lie.
Oh.
It is within our definitions of what makes men men and women women, right?
Woman.
So by definition, biological sex, right?
Sexy.
Men produce sperm. Females produce eggs. One has double X
I noticed
chromosomes.
you might not have noticed this, but I noticed some a little bit of a Freudian slip there. You said men to refer to people that are men, then you said females to refer to women. I noticed a little Freudian slip there.
I'm sorry. Could you please explain? I mean, I know
That's a
what
little
a Freudian
misogynistic.
slip is, but what?
It's a little misogynistic.
How so?
Reduces women down to just their reproductive anatomy, as opposed to them being people.
This is New York slang, my friend.
New York slang is female is not like just New York slang.
You know they use the B word. I use the F word for female. Female. It's a okay. So let's say women, men and women.
Yeah, you could call them women, and not remove their humanity if you know.
Women. So women produce eggs, correct? And men produce sperm.
Some women produce eggs. Some men produce sperm. Yeah.
Biological women produce eggs.
Some biological women produce eggs. Biological just means living.
Right.
So I mean, like all women would be biological unless they're dead.
Okay. But born a female, like actually came out, like we're in the mother's uterus, a female.
Yes, some people that are born female produce eggs. Eggs, yes.
Yes, yes.
And there are some women that are born female that don't.
Do those who transition later on in life or early on in life or whenever they transition, do they have the capability of switching over from creating sperm and or egg to create the vice versa, egg and or sperm?
We currently cannot make a person produce different gametes than their bodies naturally produce.
Exactly, these gametes.
What does that matter?
I didn't want to use that word, because that is what makes a man, and a woman, inherently, with all due respect.
Inherently or definitionally?
Or definitely, definitively.
Definitely?
Definitionally or inherently?
Definitively.
Definitively based on what?
By definitions and real life facts.
Okay, so do you know how definitions work, Randy? I worry you don't.
Enlighten me.
Do you think definitions are descriptive or prescriptive?
You're gonna have to give me a whole vocabulary lesson here, my friend.
Great. When we have a definition for a word,
oh my God,
does that definition prescribe correctness on how that word must always be defined, or do definitions merely describe how words tend to be used?
Second.
Great. So when you say that calling trans men and women are like men and women is wrong because the definition says this, well, definitions are just descriptive. They don't prescribe some level of correctness. So there's no such thing as being wrong based on the definition.
I agree, but you can be wrong without also not being right. You know what I'm saying? You can be wrong and right at the same time. Two things can be true in the same reality.
I don't know how that addresses what I just said at all.
It addresses everything. Oh, Van, you don't get it.
Okay, so basically, you're boiling it down to slang. My use of the word female to describe women as slang, right? You using trans women to describe women.
It's not slang.
That's as a slang of your own. We all have our own definitions.
What?
To some degree.
Does this person know what slang is?
I don't know how that addresses what I said, like, at all.
I'm sorry, I have ADHD. Repeat what you said.
Definitions are descriptive. Therefore, when you say you're wrong because the definition states that this thing means blank, definitions are not prescriptive. So a thing is not its definition. That's not how things work. That's not a category. A category is not its definition. A definition is just a set of words we use to describe something we see, and that can be changed whenever we feel like it.
No, I don't feel like it.
Oh. Interesting.
Oh.
So give me an example, if you would.
The word car.
Oh.
This is new to me.
Oh.
Car.
The word car.
How so?
The word
I
car does not
understand
have the same
vehicle,
definition now that it used
but
to.
maybe not car. No. The definitions remain the same. It's
No.
just the
definition of the
instrument
word car is
involved.
different than it
Carl?
used to.
4 wheels and a motor takes you from point A to point B.
Nope.
So is a car a motorcycle?
What?
And that's exactly that what right there. That every time you say something, brother, that's how I feel.
Well, I'm saying it because you're
so
saying
out
something
of
that
my
is
mind.
genuinely.
It is out of the box.
When I say what, I'm saying it because you're saying a sentence that doesn't make sense. My sentence, the word car used to have a different definition, is a sentence that perfectly makes sense. The definition of the word used to be different.
So does that cancel out the old definition?
Yes.
Or can both of those definitions be used?
Not always.
There's more than one way to define something, correct?
Randy.
Jovan, I'm really trying here, brother. I'm really trying. I know you are too.
I'm not actually trying. It would depend on the usage. Oftentimes, a new usage of a new definition of a word can outpace the other one. But if we both know this to be true, then we know that we can define women in a way that includes trans women, and they would now be women invalid per the definition.
Yeah, but brother.
Bro.
If your mom says, "Hey, bring a nice girl home tonight," and you bring a trans woman home tonight, are you fulfilling her? Are you fulfilling her objective or whatever?
Yes.
Do you don't think mom will give you a nice slap in the face and kick that man out?
No, because my mom's not a transphobe like you are.
I'm not a transphobe. How dare you? Why are you putting words in my mouth, bro?
I'm not putting words in my mouth. I'm describing you based on attributes you've exhibited in the past.
You know, Jovan, I think if we met in person and had a good,
if we met in person, I would just call you a transphobe to your face.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine, and I respect that. I would shake your hand, and I would say
I would not shake yours.
For the tough guy. Handshakes, I would literally physically grab your hand and shake it for you.
You would commit assault.
All right, because that's how much I respect you.
You would commit assault.
For telling me to my face. No, shaking hands is not.
If you grab a person that does not want you to touch them, what is that called?
It's called sexual assault.
It's, hey, I'm walking here from New York.
No, if I don't want to, if I do not want to touch you, and you grab my hand and force me to shake your hand, what is that called, Randy?
Okay, so you don't want to touch me, right? But that doesn't mean that that doesn't mean that you don't want me to touch you.
I need every woman to avoid you for the rest of your life.
True, what the fuck?
I need every woman to go nowhere near you. I need your wife to run. I need your wife to run. Did your wife want to marry you, or did you force her?
Of course. No, dude, I can't get her away from me.
Mm-hmm, sure.
Lord have mercy.
I don't believe that.
Believe the loving I had last night. Anyways, how was your Father's Day, Jovan?
Okay, goodbye, Randy.
Wait, no, what? Whoa.
Randy, we are not friends. This is not a place for you to gish gab and gallop. If you want to do that, go to the hair salon. Thank you all for watching this video. If you don't know me, I'm Jovan Bradley. I'm a leftist content creator who does debates, political commentary, gaming, and more. If this is your first video, thanks for sticking to the end, and I hope you subscribe. Thank you to all my YouTube members. Your continued support helps me create as...
That was so strange. Why was this so strange? God damn. Oh, Xander Hall. Chat Gamer Slop. Emiro Wait, what? Even Zanderhol is doing Cat Gamer Slop thing? Wait, oh god. Zanderhol fell off. Oh my gosh. Zanderhol, 57 views. Holy moly. How is it that Zanderhol fell off so bad? What happened, Zanderhol? What the hell happened to you? I am shocked. I don't know why, but today I'm kind of feeling low energy. Where did Randy touch you, Zan? What is this thing about Emiru? Does anybody know? What is Emiru racist or what? Or Asmongold? I mean, Asmongold is racist.
Coming up next to stream is Amanda. Amanda is calling from New York to talk about topic number 1.
Another New Yorker?
Gender affirming care for youth. Amanda, if you can hear me, please provide me with your age and pronouns.
Hello, Amy. You can call me Amanda. Them, they, and I am 24.
Okay.
Wait,
all right. And Amanda, I believe gender affirming care should be available to the youth of the country. Do you disagree? And if so, why?
I disagree in part because, you know, the prefrontal cortex, it doesn't fully develop until age 20, right? And I am trans myself.
Yes and no.
Excuse me?
Yes and no.
Yes. What was the question?
I was saying yes and no to the thing you just said.
Oh,
prefrontal
I'm sorry.
cortex
Okay.
developing at age 20. Yes and no.
18 to fully develop. 18 to 20, let's just say. Can we agree on that?
It's more 25 to 30. But even then, fully develop isn't the way I would describe it. What happened, the brain, because the brain is always developing, it just reaches like a peak age, and then it starts preening off like unused neurons.
That's true. I'm still learning. I'm still a student. I'm getting into like helping kids and stuff like that. I've made some bad decisions because other people influenced me in the wrong way, and I regret it. I regret it. Let me tell you, I regret it. I don't regret who I am. I just regret the path that I've taken to be here, because all roads lead to Rome.
You always prayed New
But gender affirming care for youth, like little children, no, they should just be taught female and male, men and women. You are what you are at birth until they come of age. They start asking questions.
Wait, why would you lie to children?
Around puberty, and then we have that whole discussion then.
Okay, so Amanda,
because you don't want to put ideas in there.
Per the WPATH standard, gender affirming medical care is not provided until a child reaches Tanner stage 2 of puberty. So that's already what's happening.
Okay, so we agree. I didn't know what your stance was on that.
That's how it already happens. There's no reason to give a prepubescent child gender affirming medical care because they haven't started. They have no use for it.
I've seen trans at the age of 12, for example.
The 12-year-old probably already started their pubertal process, so they would require. Now, if it's social transitioning, I think you can social transition whatever the hell you want. You could be a 2-year-old in social transition for all I give a shit. When it comes to medical affirming care,
correct?
Yeah. What do you mean by correct?
Even without the consent of the parents.
What do you mean without the consent? What? How would a 2-year-old social transition on their own?
Do you think it's correct for a 12-year-old to be socially transitioned? Without, if the parents don't want it?
Yes. Children aren't property.
My family is full support.
Children are not property.
Children aren't property. The parents should not be able to control their kids in the way that a kid is afraid to be who they are because the parents are saying no.
No, they aren't property, but we are responsible for them.
What?
Yes, and the responsible thing to do would not be to deny them who they are. That would be an irresponsible thing to do.
But what if it's just a phase? Like, I've been told it was a phase many times. It's obviously not, but like
Well, there
a
you go.
psychological, a very deep psychological evaluation needs to be put in.
Amanda, how can you say the phrase, I was told it was a phase over and over again, it really wasn't, and then go back and say, but what if these kids are in a phase?
But I doubted myself many times too. I said, maybe what if it is a phase?
But it wasn't.
But now that I'm old enough to know, it's not.
So it was never a phase. You were just being taught, you were just being convinced of it by people that disagreed with your lifestyle, essentially.
Correct. But the majority of the circle that I grew up with, they're no longer trans, bi, any of that stuff. They're married. They have children.
You can
someone
marry
someone being married doesn't make them not bisexual.
Well, I mean, they are fully. They walk the line. They are straight as an arrow now.
That doesn't make them not bisexual.
They were in the
I just want to throw that out there.
What does that even mean?
Excuse me?
There's I don't know what them going to the club has to do with whether they may still be
the gay
gender
club,
incongruent.
Gay clubs.
Nothing. Them being married and having kids doesn't make them not gay anymore.
Their wives don't know.
On Sunday, in a seismic election, Hungarians voted to oust.
Oh.
Again, so they just went into the closet, probably because of social stigmatization, or they're bisexual.
Oh, wait, what?
And they'll go either way. What does this have to do with anything?
I don't know.
I'm just saying it puts.
It makes no sense.
Bad ideas into people's head. It's like playing devil's advocate almost. So that's why we really need to have a comprehensive, in-depth psychological evaluation for everyone who wants.
You don't need a comprehensive individual psychological evaluation to know if you're gender incongruent. It can help,
but yeah,
like,
it definitely can help.
You being gender incongruent. Here's one thing I think we need to stop. I think we need to stop acting like the rest of the world needs to know, and it's up to the rest of the world to figure out if these kids are not being honest. That's a framing I reject wholeheartedly.
Same. I think kids should
It's your framing.
No, not at all. I think kids should just be kids. How can a
trans kid be a kid? How can a trans kid be a kid if they're being forced to hide who they are?
True.
No, they don't have to hide it, but they don't have to be so flagrant and just blow it around.
You just hate when gay people put it in your face. I think gay and trans people should hide it.
No, not people. These are children, Jovan. Children.
Are children not people, Amanda?
Yes.
My bad. I didn't know children weren't people. From now on, I'll refer to children as like fucking property. How about that?
Minors. I'm not talking about like 17.
I'm going to tell you right now. I have no problem if minors want to do drag. It's probably a fun performance to them. I wore a fucking. I did drag in a school play when I was in fucking middle school. Whoopee.
May I ask, what are your pronouns?
What are my pronouns?
Yeah, I'm just curious.
What's that have to do with anything? They're he, him, but what does that have to do with anything?
He, him. Okay,
the chat knows
are you part of the LG? I don't know. That's why I'm asking. So I acknowledge his power, Jovan.
Oh my god.
What is wrong with you,
I need a troll alert button.
How am I a troll? This is like transphobic.
Sure is.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
I sure hate those. I sure hate those transes. Yeah.
No, but you know,
definitely haven't dedicated a large portion. Definitely haven't dedicated a large portion of my life to
Randy. You hate Randy. Everybody, Randy. W's for Randy. W's for Randy. We want Randy. That's all the comments talk about. And you know what? I'm not a rapist. I'm gonna have my.
Not a single. I'm dropping you. Not a single comment asked for you. We've literally figured out you were a troll, and now you are officially banned from the channel, like fully banned. So Randy, you are officially banned. You will not be allowed in the call-in screener. You will not be allowed in chat. You are officially banned.
What the fuck was that?
My favorite thing is when we figure out someone's a troll and they're like, I got you. And I'm like, I literally said you were a troll. like that's always so crazy to me is when they're like, see, you couldn't figure it out after I figured it out.
What the fuck?
So Randy has now permanently been banned.
What's the point of
But also,
what's the point of doing calls like that? What the fuck is the point? What's the goal? Okay, let's watch this one. How do you like today's art? Also, I decided to take part in a contest. Okay? I'm gonna tell my beautiful audience right here and now. I've decided to take part in a manga contest.
Coming up next is Charles calling from California to tell us that he agrees that trans men are men and trans women are women, but that it is a mental illness. Charles, if you can hear me, please provide me with your age and pronouns.
There's a contest this month.
I'm 31
manga.
PM.
I'm gonna submit my manga to a
Charles,
contest.
you agree that trans men and women are men and women, but you think they have a mental illness.
Yeah, I would say so. I think my position would be.
Yeah, I'm creating a manga for a contest.
People that are pro-trans,
It's
I think
like
might
a
be doing
Shonen Jump
people a
contest.
disservice by not thinking it's a mental illness. And I would say the
Croatia
example I
contest.
would give is maybe like
International
a mother
contest.
who wants to protect their
have
child, and
to
their
draw
child
as
is super
much as you
depressed,
can.
and their friends are like, "This person's depressed." And like, no, there's nothing wrong with them. There's nothing wrong with them. It's like, well, if we can acknowledge that there might be something wrong with them, the help that they need might be easier to attain and be given to them and help them. I think it's
what is the psychological and
disservice,
medical
I'd say.
consensus? What is the psychological and medical consensus on this condition and how it is treated?
Are you talking about for trans people?
Yeah.
I would say I would look to you guys for that. Honestly, I'm not entirely sure. Would it be gender affirming care, or what would it be?
And appropriate to the individual, what they need to alleviate their gender dysphoria, if that's what they have. If they have gender dysphoria, not every trans person has it. Some people just socially transition, whatever that means to them. But those that do need a physical, means of transitioning, whether that be hormonal or surgical, those things help alleviate their distress.
What's
Nothing
that?
else
What's the
seems
contest?
to. No medication.
You want to know?
No talk therapy.
You really
want to
know?
That is going to alleviate it as efficiently and permanently as actually changing the
I'm gonna link
phenotypes
it.
for those people that need it.
Yeah, and I think that
This one.
if that's the best way to help them, then that would be great. And then I think if we should
This is the contest. Manga Academy Kodansha.com Award Manga Discovery. Kodansha is opening its door to the world. This is our first unified global scouting project. Not just another manga award, but a search for the raw and bold and yet to be discovered talent across borders. How do you feel about that, huh? Yeah, that's right. July 22nd is like the deadline. So I am creating a manga. I'm currently the process of creating a storyboard. I'm almost done, and then I'll be able to make the pages. It's gonna be awesome. I'm creating a whole manga. Could you be hired for it? Yeah, Because one of the rewards is a dedicated Kodansha editor, you creative partner. So if I win a contest, I get a editor that will work for me. And my stuff might get serialized. 300,000 yen is like $1,800. So it's not a huge amount of money. Okay. You don't do it for the money. You do it for the love of the game. You do it for the love of the game. So I'm gonna do this. You know? What is this? Final Fantasy VII Twist.
And then I think if we should continue to do so. I think for me,
does that make sense?
Language is obviously important, and what we put out, how we verbalize things is very important. And
Ohayou gozaimasu.
I don't know why.
So you think the stigma of mental illness is
desu
the way to go? You think that this
manga contesto ni kimeta no desu. Goran kudasai. Kono contesto desu. Shueisha. Shueisha no contesto desu. Furushi Haze wa mangaka ni narimasu. とやればできます。そうですね。コンテスト。はい。ここに、16ページの漫画です。Professional debut. Socialization begins. You start receiving manuscripts, fees, and royalties. You are no longer just an aspiring artist. You are a professional mangaka. Movie, animation, merch. Damn. So yes. We'll see. We'll see what will happen, okay? できるの？はい。できます。This is part of my, see? This is part of my, these few pages are like part of my, you know, I'm making a Nemo. You know what a Nemo is? Oh, 昨日は誕生日でしたか。お誕生日おめでとうございます。はい。誕生日おめでとうございます。プレゼントないの？プレゼントは、このストリームはプレゼントじゃないのですか？このストリーム？プレゼントはこのストリーム。いやいやいや。とりあえず、この後ゲームしましょう。どのようなゲームしましょうか？そしてニューズです。私はニューズストリーマーです。ちょっと少々お待ちください。大丈夫か？大丈夫かあんた。はい。今はね。 今は大丈夫です。はいはいはい。Incredible. Incredible things are happening. Wait, who's live right now? Dylan Burns is back. Progressive Victory versus Hassan. Oh, wow, okay. Oh, yeah, Platner. Platner is gone. We should maybe talk a bit about Platner, right? You know what happened? You know what happened with Platner? Oh, 60 people are now watching Xander Hall. What is Xander Hall playing? Is he playing some... Oh, he's playing some Assassin's Creed game. I get it. Bionic Pig TV. So Platner is, I guess, Platner is this politician from Maine. Platner is from Maine, right? And it turned out, okay, I'm not gonna say that it turned out because it's all like allegations now, but he did retreat. He did back down from his campaign. So while it is allegation, he kind of also, it did destroy his campaign. Yeah, it turns out that he kind of might have allegedly done some unsavory sexual things. So, you know. So that's not good. Whoever was defender, proponent, ally, slash, I don't know what to even call it, supporter of Platner, I guess there's a sense of disappointment there now, right? Oh no. My favorite candidate assaulted someone. How could that have happened? How could I have known? Oh no, these people are using AI for their thumbnail. Don't use AI for your thumbnails. This is my main advice that I can give you. If there's any advice that I can give you, it is please do not use AI for your stuff. It is not good. It is a very bad habit to use AI for your stuff. You can see it from a mile away. It doesn't make your thumbnails original. It makes your thumbnails unoriginal, very uniform and bad. Roasting the only artist that deserves it? Okay, let's watch this.
So here's the thing about me and critique and like so-called roasts, okay? I don't really like being negative. I can't bring it in myself to be mean to anyone.
That's a lie. People that say it, do not trust them. Never trust a person that says, I don't like being mean to others. Oh, I don't like critiquing. I don't like critique. I'm just this little puff cake, and you know, I never critique anybody. I've never critiqued anybody. In my life. Why?
Necessarily. What are you? An idiot sandwich. There's only one person in the world I'm allowed to be mean to.
Okay.
And it's me. I can criticize myself.
Oh my god.
I
no.
recently found an old time lapse of mine of something I drew 4 years ago, and oh my god, I had no idea what I was doing. I'm not allowed to be mean to myself. Says who? I'm allowed to be mean to myself as I like, because I don't take myself seriously. Let me show you my old video, okay? Alright, here we go. It's time. This is a Wraith fan art. I believe I drew in early 2019. See, here's the final drawing. I mean, there are issues. This is kind of cute. Okay. So like, first step already, and I'm like, wait. What was I doing here? You can tell that my lines are so sketchy and chicken scratchy right from the very, very get-go. I'm literally doing like.
Oh, my mom hates that. My mom will always criticize me for that.
You can laugh. It's fine. You can be as mean as you want to 2019
My mom calls it the wire.
Bold and bright. More like belongs in the trash.
I don't know what I'm doing, so then here you go. Let's chicken scratch our way through and try to make something happen. I did not have the box knowledge, and you will be able to see that I have not even thought about drawing boxes at this point, because there will be struggling in here. So here I am, chicken scratching my way into what I hope is a decent pose.
My mom
casually
says, never
drawing the
do
face
this
5 times because I don't know what's going on. I mean, it's okay. We got some detail coming in. Okay, now we finally gonna do the line art now. But wasn't it fun?
No, there's no critique. You're not
hours.
criticizing yourself. You're not saying anything.
There was a specific way I was drawing back then. Okay, I really wanted crisp line art, and as you can see here, I did a pretty good job. The line art is really clean, and basically how I did clean line art back in the day was I got all the way in here, like here's my sketch, and I would be like carefully, oh no, that looks a little bit thick here, then cleaning things up like that, you know, make sure that not a single pixel out of place. But that's not why all of it took that much time. I redraw the bun, and then I realized, oh no! Perspective is a thing. If we're looking at the character from below, then yeah, the belts should actually be rotated upwards. I'll just do like a cylinder. I literally drew a cylinder like this, and then I drew the belts like that. I'm like, gee, I wonder why this doesn't look right. Oh gee. I did not understand a single thing about perspective back in the day. How do I do it now? I could do a quick demo, right? If I had to approach something like this today, I'd probably start by doing a rough sketch. It's still loose, but it's not as sketchy. If we go back here, right? Like, my lines were very uncertain and scribbly. You can be loose without being sketchy. I would probably try to get a bit more gesture into it as well.
Gestural.
That would probably how I'd choose to sketch it today. I'd probably think of perspective more from the get-go. But since I didn't really know what I was trying to execute, I had to kind of go through a lot of trial and error and a lot of redrawing to get the effect that I actually wanted. So that's why we should draw boxes, or else we end up struggling like I used to do in the past. So if I was gonna do a sketch right now, like, you can still be loose without having to resort to chicken scratch like how I used to, right? So I feel like there's a pretty big difference between
my mom,
this
the professional painter,
and what I'm doing today, which by the way took way less time. Oh yeah, and don't forget the belts go like this because guess what? I already have these guidelines in place, so I already kind of know what the perspective is supposed to be. Unlike here, look, this is flat right here. There's no perspective here at all. Look, even the scarf here is flat. I don't even know what I was going for. I feel like it was like a straight-on perspective, and at some point I decided, actually, let's make the perspective different. And nothing has to change, right? I was wrong. I feel the difference between chicken scratching and just having loose searching lines. This, I think, is chicken scratch. It's not bad that you do it, because I feel like everybody starts with it. Even if you need to do searching lines, right? Just kind of find your shape. I know a lot of artists that do searching lines like this, but try to keep your lines extended and smooth. And that way you'll have basically more form and flow through your drawing. Try to use longer lines, right? Like, you don't have to do this like I was doing. That's quite different. Okay, let's keep watching this. Alright, so now I decide that she's gonna be looking down on you, so I have to redraw all of the belts. See, this is why it's good to plan out your drawing, because I did the finished line art and I realized, oh, wait a second, if you see it from below, shouldn't the belts be curving up? So I had to redraw every single belt, and don't forget the way I did line art back in the day.
Where's the critique? I was promised critique. Oh, backgrounds for lazy artists. I'm a lazy artist. Come on, okay. Background for
Hi
lazy...
guys, my name is Marcel and you are probably watching this video because your backgrounds look like this. But after watching this video, they will hopefully end up looking more like that and be noticeably better drawn. Basically, what I'm saying is today you are going to learn how to draw backgrounds.
Damn, okay.
Say the line!
Like a So yeah, I'll show you how to draw some 3D backgrounds, how I'm drawing my backgrounds for concept art and manga pages, and some tips about creating your very own background. So you definitely want to watch till the very end, even if you already have some experience with this. I also have a lot more to say about image composition, coloring backgrounds, and background effects. I think that's a really fascinating topic, but I don't know if you actually care about all of that. I'm making all of these videos completely on my own. They are an immense amount of work with all of the editing, and this usually takes several weeks. So I'm only going to make more videos about backgrounds if people are actually watching them. Also, a like and a subscription would be really appreciated. That way you can support all of the work I put into these videos. So, I'm giving it a shot. Here's a tutorial on how to draw and design backgrounds. Let's get going. Now, when I'm having a cool idea for a background, I do not start out by drawing it right away in detail.
No.
Instead, I usually start scribbling a sketch first, but you already know that when you've watched some of my videos.
No way.
This is just about roughly constructing your background by blocking out the buildings, so nothing detailed yet. And after that, you can roughly add some stuff like doors or windows. Now, I think at this point you already know what a vanishing point is. It's like a magnet where all the lines in this direction point towards. When drawing backgrounds, I'm always making sure my lines end up there. And in case this doesn't fit on your paper, you can always do it the old Minecraft method and just extend it. And if you're now confused as to why I'm using 2 vanishing points when other artists sometimes use just 1 vanishing point or 3 vanishing points, well, you're in luck, because I've already made a tutorial about vanishing points and how they work, just in case you're still struggling with that. So what I'm doing now is to check if all the lines I've drawn actually point towards their respective vanishing points.
Tutorial.
You know, all the lines that go to the left have to point to the left vanishing point, and vice versa for the right vanishing point.
You draw a background by drawing
now that's a very rough background that just contains a couple of boxes.
Really
if you now want to add more components, like humans to the scene, I would suggest you do not start out by drawing people right away. Instead, try adding another block instead of a person. This way you can measure if the height of this person makes sense in this scene. For example, this person right here obviously has to fit through a door. So let's take a look if that checks out. And yeah, this person can indeed fit through this door. So the size does make sense. And now if that's the case, we can now finish drawing this person in here.
Alright.
Actually, it doesn't matter what you want to add. I would always suggest blocking it out first, like a street sign, for example. As you can see, I'm always drawing a rectangle first, and then I try to turn it into the actual sign I wanted to draw. This way, it looks a lot more accurate. Let me tell you, you don't have to do that. As you can see, I'm also not doing that for every object.
Okay.
But it's a nice way to
we're gonna finish art for now, because the laptop is not keeping up with both me watching videos and the art software, or no, you know. So that's a thing. So now we're just gonna react to some things, and then I'm gonna go through the news because I have to like keep a healthy content flow for you. I need to do a healthy content flow for my audience. How does that sound? So I'm gonna change the title of the stream. It's about the videos. We want art. Art is over. Okay, art is overrated. You know why? Because nobody subscribed or donated. And I have free viewers on YouTube, so art is not something that you want. You think you want it, but you don't. Like Blizzard and Warcraft Classic or whatever. You think you want it, but you don't want it. I don't know. Nobody wants my art. It's very disappointing, but it is what it is. Platner plus other news and slop. Platner slop. Also, we're back where we started with. We're back where we started with the whole Iran crap, just so you know. Just as you thought that Iran was over, Trump decided, nope, nope, it's not over. I mean, Trump didn't decide it. Iran decided it, kind of, sort of. It kind of, sort of just happened that during the NATO thing, Iran kind of called Trump scum or something. I mean, it happens to everybody. It happens to the best of us that you get called scum. Right? I think it happens to the best of us. Was never called scum in their life. Yeah, scum. Sick of the Russia allied China, happy to see Ukraine war continue. Ex-Biden advisors say, oh wow. No way. The thing that all of us knew already is, as always, panning out. Oh, China wants the war to go on? No way, bro. Impossible. Yes. Yes, we all knew that. We all knew that for more than 3 years now. God. God damn it. Xanderhol's VODs are doing well. Look at that. 8.5 thousand views. PragerU is panicking over record low patriotism. Xanderhol is doing not so well on live viewership, but he is doing well on VODs. So happy to see drones to Russia and get discounted oil. I mean, the oil might not be so discounted for much longer, considering that Iran is back on the agenda. So that's happening as well. Right? That is definitely happening. Don't draw a box. Oh, see, this person says not to draw a box. So, yeah.
You can snap your way into drawing whatever the heck you want to draw. But,
But there is a big but right here. After having practiced drawing 15 years or so and having taught a bunch of people to do the same, I've noticed that you need to get a couple of core pieces right in the first place before you start your artistic endeavors, or else you'll end up getting frustrated, lost, disappointed, and heck, you might want to even quit this thing after a couple of years down the line. Now, why would you want that? We don't want that. So the first thing I would do if I'm starting to learn drawing this year is step 0. Yeah, there is a step 0, which is start with why. Man who has a why can bear almost any house, said a wise man from Germany once. So that means the question is, why do you want to draw? Do you want to create awesome art from your imagination, build a social media following, host an art show, make a book, make some comic books, illustrations, or you just want to feel more in their life than the jobs that we simply do so that you have a creative practice that gives your life meaning? That's going deep. The thing is, there are no wrong answers. Heck, there's not even a right answer. You just need to get one so that you can have a direction. I know that it's fine to not be clear at this point. Your why will evolve over time and gain more clarity as you go through this process. So just get one down and get to the first step, which is forming the habit. That is step.
Oh my god, what a boring video.
Most people think learning to draw looks like this. You decide to draw, you watch a bunch of tutorials, you make art and become the awesome artist ever. But that is basically fantasy land. This is how it actually works. You decide to draw, draw, you realize you suck, and you have some issues, and then you need to fix it by watching some tutorials, and then you draw again, and more issues will pop up, and you'll watch more tutorials, or learn from people, correct your issues, draw more issues, correct, draw more issues, and you keep going, you make art, you die, sun swallows the earth, and that's the end of the universe. This is how it actually works out in the real life when it comes to learn drawing. And what you don't want to do is spend this phase looking for information, but rather spend this phase forming a habit. Here's what I would do. I would just get a couple of pens and sketchbooks, sit down first thing in the morning after I wake up, not literally, you can grab some coffee and go to the potty and all that stuff.
What the hell? No way. Explosion? Or was that a lightning? Or was that an explosion? What? Lightning or explosion? I have to look. I didn't know there was an air siren. There's no air siren, it's just lightning. Wait, really? That's lightning? But that wasn't lightning. That was an explosion. Was it? But these are explosions, clearly. Where's the air siren? What? Where's... I'm hearing explosions, but I'm not hearing an air siren. What is happening? Am I crazy? I clearly just heard something. Oh, what the fuck? What's that smell? Like, I could clearly hear explosions and there was nothing. No way. Ukraine really is out of interceptor missiles, like literally. Like, you just explosions just go off and there's siren. Let's go to Twitter. This is crazy. Latest. Explosions in Kyiv before the sirens. Again, ballistic missiles. 3 quick explosions in Kyiv as Russia does another sneak attack here. Air raid alert in Kyiv after ballistic missile strikes. Again, this happened. I was like, what was that? Lightning? That's impossible. That could not have been lightning. Oh my god. Ballistic missiles. Crazy. Should probably
You can snap your way.
stop. Should probably change the. Oh no, I think I've changed the. Oh, that's useful actually.
Do you have cool manga characters in your drawings, but your panels are a little empty? Today I'll show you a cool way to make backgrounds for your manga using photographs on Clip Studio Paint. This technique is used by many mangaka, but most famously by Inio Asano, the author of Oyasumi Punpun, mixing realism with stylized manga. Before beginning, I highly advise artists to still practice drawing backgrounds from scratch, but think of...
Okay, I'm gonna do that. Damn. This is interesting. I'm gonna watch this.
Think of this as another tool in your arsenal. With that being said, let's begin. To start off, I got a photograph of a house from Pinterest, but it's even better to use your own photographs to make it unique. I've seen some mangaka go out on trips in the city just to take pictures for their settings, like how a film scout looks for locations for their movies. At the very least, it will give you a reason to touch grass. Now, go to the filter ribbon, scroll over to unsharpen mask, set the radius to 3, strength to 500, and threshold of 0, or to a setting that you prefer. Once you click OK, the edges of the picture will now be easier to convert into lines. To convert to black and white, go to the layer ribbon and click Convert to Lines and Tones. Within the window, I always click Preview so I can toggle the black fill settings.
Holy shit.
To adjust for an optimal amount of black and white conversion, where the lines are strong and clear, but not too much that the image becomes muddy. I want to be able to see the edges of the objects in the photograph but not have it all be too thick or obscured in black. Once you've converted the photo to lines and tones, the key to making it your own art is how you clean it up. Within black and white manga, contrast in your objects is very important, and you want lots of negative space to delineate your areas of focus and shape hierarchies in your composition. So I simplify the tones by removing the lightest one and turning it completely white. This makes it look more like a drawing than a picture, and also makes the house pop. Just like making an object pop.
Maybe I'll use this technique for backgrounds actually. Yeah, I might consider using this actually. Okay, let's watch a slop video. Anti-air, siren. Are we safe now? Nope. We're not safe at all. S-400 ballistic missile attack in direction of Kyiv. Kyiv was under a ballistic missile attack. Explosions were reported in the Ukrainian capital. Oh, is it over? I think it might be over. It was just a quick one off. Was it though? Really did. Is the attack still ongoing? Yeah, we're still in the anti-air. Pretty wild. We'll be right back. Oh yeah, I have to check something real quick. I have a debate tomorrow. Actually, I have a debate tomorrow. We'll be right back. I returned. I am so unhappy to see missiles flying to here. Hello. I was in the toilet. Lucy was in the toilet. Shadow. Explosion. Another one. I wonder if it's close or far away. That feels closer. God damn. Yeah, Russia's definitely taking advantage of the fact that Ukraine has no interceptor missiles right now. Very regularly attacked by missiles. I felt slight shake. And this is why Ukraine needs aid. Okay, this is why Ukraine needs patriots. Like, I'm glad that Ukraine is, which brings me to actually an actual segment. I'm glad that Trump has said that he might give Ukraine a license to produce Patriot missiles, but it's a license to produce factories and then the infrastructure in the future, years from now. But you know what Ukraine needs right now? It needs the missiles. It doesn't need a permission. I mean, it is useful to get a permission to maybe build up infrastructure in the future. But what it needs now is the ability to shoot down the missiles now. Because if it doesn't have that, this is what happens. Ukraine does not have the means to shoot down the missiles, and Russia takes advantage. Vladimir says Lucy's still dodging those hypersonics. Damn, what a dodge roller. I mean, you know me, Vladimir. I am born under a lucky star, I guess. I can certainly hear them. You know, if the West provided Ukraine with interceptor missiles, maybe I would not have to do those roles. People are just still using the elevator like nothing's happening. People just living their life as if nothing's happening. You get used to things. Unfortunately, I've also interviewed people that told me that the same people that got a little bit used to it, they got to the window to see what's happening. They were going to the shelter. Sometimes people die when they go to the shelter to go to safety. They get hit. So that is something that happens as well. It's not very good, let me tell you. Smoke is seen rising over Kyiv following a Russian missile attack. Another series of loud explosions heard in Kyiv. Multiple Iskander ballistic missile. Ballistic missiles, yeah. 8 Russian ballistic missiles hit Kiev. Several Russian ballistic missiles. I know that you always roll those 6s, but one day luck can just run out. That is true. But I have to stream, you know? I have to do it for the people that depend on me. I have to do it for the 3 people that wanna watch me, you know? I need to roll the dice in the name of my dedicated audience. I have to do it. I simply have to do it. It is my duty. You know? I have to do it. It's okay. I am a lucky person. Okay, let's do some news. Okay, if we're gonna be in an air siren mode, then we might as well. Hold on, is Kiev safe now? No, it's not. I was like, Kiev seems safe now. Maybe Russia ran out of missiles and it's all good now. Platner. Oh boy. We might as well do some news. I'm not gonna lie. Russia has been stepping up the attacks since the alarm cannot even keep up. It's kind of crazy. Speaking of which, China wants the war to continue. What a bizarre twist. We really needed an ex-Biden advisor to know that. Yeah, we definitely did not know that before. We definitely did not know that China, which kind of made Russia highly dependent on it, we really did not know that it wanted the war to continue. Whoa, what a twist. What a twist and turn. China is not using its leverage over Russia to force an end to the war in Ukraine because Beijing sees the conflict as serving its own interests. An ex-security advisor to former US President Joe Biden has said, like, come on, we've known this for years. It's not some revelation. Like, now I'm hearing about it as if it was news. What a joke. Let's get into it.
And joining me now for an exclusive interview is Michael Carpenter, Senior Fellow at the International Institute for Strategic Studies and former security advisor to US President Joe Biden. Good evening to you, Mr. Ambassador.
Hello.
Good evening. Nice to be with you.
And nice to have you with us. I want to start with China and Russia. These reports of clandestine meetings to disable Ukraine's Starlink access, to ramp up military ties between the two countries. Is this putting into writing what some have said for years, that China is aiding and abetting the invasion?
Well, at least the show is actually registering the fact that people have been saying that for years. People have been saying for years now that China wants the war to continue.
Of Ukraine.
Yes, absolutely, 100%. We've known that China has been supporting Russia and undermining European security for years.
Yeah,
in fact, in the Biden administration,
go.
we would frequently tell our European interlocutors.
We might as well change the... There you go. Might as well change the layout.
That China was providing something like 90% of the nitrocellulose that Russia used to make propellants for its missiles and other weapon systems, that it was providing most of the machine tools that Russia used in its factories for producing weapons and military equipment, and that China was subsidizing the Russian economy through various inputs and through lower prices and purchases of Russian hydrocarbons. So the fact that Russia and China would be collaborating to try to take offline Starlink terminals in the future, and it's still in the future, by the way, it's not clear that anything concrete has happened just yet to try to take down
you, Maya Mayor,
the Starlink
for
network. But the fact that they're talking about...
Oh my God, Maya Mayor, thank you so much. Thank you for your generosity, Maya Mayor, and welcome to the stream. How are you? Maya Mayor, oh my goodness. Thank you for making this ballistic missile barrage more nice. Thank you. I'm not sure if you know, but we are currently under attack. Let me see. The explosions went off before the air siren could even respond, so, you know, fun times here in Kyiv. Thank you so much. I'm gonna go grab a Coke to celebrate. I'm gonna pour myself some Coca-Cola to celebrate. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Ugh. I'm gonna grab this Coca-Cola in celebration that you've donated and that I'm still alive. Oh, you play the piano? I wish I could play the piano. I should have practiced as a kid, but that ship has sailed because I'm not a kid anymore. So I cannot practice as a kid anymore. I could have, would have, should have, but I did not. So, I cannot play the piano because I wasted my youth on God knows what. Drawing. I wasted my youth on drawing. Also, I'm taking part in a manga contest. I've decided to make a manga for a contest. But yeah. Who's Tom? Hello, Glitchmaster. Oh, you're all here. Tom. How are you? How is everybody? Listen, we're in the middle of a missile thing. In the middle of a missile attack. I'm not done Periello. I was watching Dylan now. I'm here. I'm well. How exciting. Oh, wait, Glitchmaster. You're Dylan Burns viewer? What is Dylan Burns up to? On the stream. Listen, I need a boost to viewership. Thank you for being here. We're watching news about something that we've known for a long time now. Namely that China wants the war to continue, which is okay. Okay, so are you hungry for content or got things for today? Both. I've got things for today and I'm hungry for content. I mean, live provides me content by throwing explosions at me. But no, right now we're talking about China. I was ranting about PV, DSA, and socialists in the US. Oh God, I wanna rant about socialists in the US because fuck me, man. Can I rant about socialists in the US? Because this has been so ridiculous. Okay, after China, okay? After China, we might rant some about. Because, god damn. There's some brain rot happening with socialists in the United States. I don't know how else to call it. The whole do you know that there is a tradition of whatever? No, we're not doing this. We're not mixing up topics. We're not code switching our topics before we got things in order. Okay, we're doing things properly now. We're doing things properly now. We're
Elaborating about these sorts of measures that would undermine Western security, frankly, is not startling to me. I think it's absolutely in keeping with a relationship that I have seen.
Those socialists would love Western security to be undermined by whatever. Focus, stay on track. What did I miss? You missed me doing some art. You missed me fooling around. And then you missed me suddenly hearing explosions and thinking, wait, were those explosions? Or was that lightning? But that didn't sound like lightning. And then I heard another explosion and said, yeah, that's definitely not lightning. That's an explosion. Where's the air siren? Where are the air sirens? What's happening? And then, well over a minute later, there was an air siren. Oh yeah, Maya Mayor. Yeah, I'm taking part in a manga contest. I'm drawing a manga so that I can... There's a nice reward if I win the contest. I get an editor, and it's all nice. I've been doing this. Uh, yeah. Right. All right, let's continue.
These countries develop over the last several years.
More broadly, how do you assess the relationship between Moscow and Beijing right now? Is it really, as it has been called, a no-limits friendship? Because we, of course...
It's not a friendship. It's more like fealty. Russia is subservient to China. I wouldn't call it a friendship, to be honest with you. I definitely would not call it a friendship. Friendship is not a way to describe this relationship.
Have Vladimir Zelensky talking about European leaders reporting to him that Beijing has said to Moscow, look, do not touch nuclear weapons when it comes to striking back at Ukrainian territory. Do you see it as a no-holds-barred friendship?
Yeah, I guess.
Also, yeah, China did warn Russia against using nuclear weapons sometime near the start of the war. You know?
Not entirely. It's not no holds barred because I think both sides understand that China is the dominant player in this relationship, that Russia is very much beholden to China for all the reasons that I just outlined, and also because China's economy is multiples the size of Russia's. And the Russians also understand, those who are in power understand very well that China still harbors designs on the Russian Far East. And so there is an uneasy friction that often gets swept under the rug.
And Russia cannot do anything about it because it's tied up in Ukraine. Friendship between states, LOL. I know. But when you say friendship, you basically mean equal alliances. You know, that's what friendships mean, okay? When you say friendships between countries, you don't really mean, oh, we're buddies, we're friends. It means we are equal partners in this alliance. And that's not what's happening with Russia and China. There's no equality between these countries when it comes to relations.
When Vladimir Putin and Xi Jinping meet. And furthermore, there are certain elements where the two countries don't agree. For example, China is somewhat upset that Russia has forged a closer partnership with North Korea and with Kim Jong-un than the Chinese.
Yeah, that's because naturally China considers North Korea to be in its sphere of influence. If we're talking the language of spheres of influence and stuff like that, right? It's like it feels like Russia is pulling North Korea away from China.
Currently have. And of course, China, as you mentioned, would not be happy to see Russia deploy any sort of non-strategic nuclear weapons on the Ukrainian battlefield. Those differences aside, the relationship is quite strong. It is bound primarily by a mutual hostility to the West and specifically to the United States. Both countries are very...
I would say it's also tied to mutual benefit.
Very fearful of democratic encroachment or democratic reform. And so they have a lot more in common than they do in opposition to one another.
We've often heard the line that a call from Xi Jinping to Vladimir Putin could end the war in Ukraine or go very far to ending it. Finnish President Alexander Stubb...
Well, I'm not sure if it could. We can only speculate on that front, but we don't have to worry about it. We don't have to think about it because that call will not happen. So that is not something that we have to wreck our brains about. That just ain't happening.
Once told me exactly that. Could it be so simple? Should Donald Trump be focusing peace efforts on China instead of Russia?
Well, I think what President Stubb means by the citation that you just referred to is that China has the leverage, if it wanted to deploy it,
but it doesn't
to compel Russia to make some immediate choices about a ceasefire. China has decided not to deploy that leverage, and likely not just because it doesn't want to alienate Russia, but because China sees it fundamentally as in Beijing's interests for this war to continue, because the war depletes Russia's military industrial potential, which over the long term is in China's interest. Because
and also, I'm pretty sure that it's just simply financially beneficial to China. And also, I'm pretty sure that China has been gaining influence over Russian gas export.
Again, as I mentioned, the Chinese leadership does have certain claims towards the Russian Far East, maybe not in the immediate term, but many regard it as historically Chinese territory. And furthermore, China benefits from the fact that Russia and the West in conflict take attention and resources away from what China is doing in the Taiwan Strait and on its periphery in the South China Sea. And so, generally speaking, I think China, despite its rhetoric, is happy to see the war continue and is not going to deploy that leverage that President Stubb referred to.
China has been supporting Russia materially. So of course, like if China has been
in a later interview, actually talked about a bit of an anecdote of him then visiting President Xi later on, and President Xi saying to him, "I've heard you say this, it's not that simple." So those dynamics at play as well. Speaking of Ukraine, Presidents Trump and Zelensky felt pretty collegial in Ankara this week. It was a far cry from the Oval Office bust up last year.
I don't care about stuff like that. Like, people really read into the interpersonal far too much. Oh, Trump was nice to Zelensky this week. Does that mean that Ukraine's gonna receive big support? No, it doesn't mean that at all. It's like, I know that Trump is a unpredictable buffoon, and that is very difficult to predict what he'll do, what will happen, and his policy, but the truth is, like, we cannot read we cannot speculate on policy based on some perceived interpersonal relationships going on.
We seeing a Donald Trump that is now swinging behind Kyiv, his
No,
I
I
guess
don't
hostility
think so.
towards Vladimir Zelensky softening?
Well, certainly there's been an opening for Ukraine that they are very eager and happy to seize with the licensing, if it is in fact to come to fruition, but with the declared licensing
I'm not
of
that
Patriot missile
optimistic.
interceptors for Ukraine to enable them to build those missiles inside the country. That is a significant development. Of course, it's going to take years for that to be realized. So these missiles aren't going to flow from Ukrainian factories anytime in the next year or
Yeah.
two. But it is still a significant development. And you're right that President Trump's language with regards to Ukraine has also
Like, it doesn't matter. Like, if Ukraine cannot defend itself against missile right now, case in point, we just had an attack right now. Several explosions. Are we still in the anti-air mode? We're still under attack. Am I going to hear more explosions from missiles tonight? Possibly. So, while it is a development, it doesn't change anything in the immediate right now. Like, in the immediate, it just doesn't change anything. It doesn't do anything for Ukraine to right now.
shifted in the sense that he has said that Ukraine should continue its long-range strike campaign, that Ukraine is advancing in the war. I think President Trump recognizes that, in fact, the tide of the war has shifted in Ukraine's favor, but I'm a little bit hesitant to declare that President Trump is now suddenly reversing his previous policies and siding completely with Ukraine against Russia.
He's not. It would be so naive to come to the conclusion that Trump has just flipped on this topic.
Because we've seen this roller coaster in the past, tacking back and forth between phone calls with Zelensky and Putin. And of course, prior to the Anchorage summit, there were some who hoped that President Trump would sort of force the Russian leader into concessions. That, of course, didn't happen.
Nope.
So at the end of the day, I think President Trump still wants to reset relations with Russia because he wants those commercial deals for himself, for his entourage, and for the United States. But he recognizes that that is going to be very difficult to accomplish. And he also recognizes that Ukraine is now slowly but surely turning the tide on the battlefield.
That was exactly going to be my next question, because does Donald Trump really care about peace in Ukraine, or do those long-range strikes into Russian territory have something to do with that change of tone? Because he's the guy that just wants to back a winner. And does that mean he could turn back towards Vladimir Putin just as fast?
I think he could, depending on the circumstances. I think it's very important to remember the hierarchy of priorities that Trump has when it comes to this war. I genuinely believe the president wants to resolve the war. I think he wants.
It's not that he wants to resolve the war per se. It's more that he wants to benefit from Russia. If you could, with a no strings attached, just do business with Russia while the war was going on, he would. I believe he would. Like, Trump is not good at resolving wars. Look at what's happening with Iran.
Peace. But I think his primary motivating factor is, as I said earlier, it's to get back to business with Russia.
Yeah.
It's both for the United States as a country to do deals with Russia, but it's also for him and his family and his cronies to personally benefit from investments, say, in Arctic gas and oil, in other critical minerals.
Correct. The person truly was working under. Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree with this assessment of Trump's motivation. Yeah. 100%. I agree with this. Can I unpause? I guess not.
In Arctic gas and oil, in other critical minerals in Siberia and other parts of Russia. And so I think he sees the relationship through the commercial lens, and ending the war is a means to unlocking some of those business deals. That does not mean that he's willing to put the type of pressure, especially economically, on Putin that would be necessary for hastening an end to this conflict, say, in the next few months. I do not believe that President Trump is prepared to do that, even as he slowly shifts his tone about the war.
Yeah, because if he did that, then that would jeopardize his business opportunities after the war. Because why would Russia want to do business with somebody that caused their defeat? That is probably Trump's.
Michael Carpenter, always a great pleasure. Thank you so much for your time.
My pleasure.
And that's all for World.
So yeah, breaking news. Something that we've known for years turns out to be actually true. China is in favor of the war continuing. What a shock. Yeah. Yeah, you've heard my analysis. You've heard my analysis just now. This is, I don't know why this is treated as news. I genuinely don't know why now people are kind of seemingly waking up to the fact that China wants the war to continue. It's insane. Whatever. Let's see how our friends are doing. Chad Logic. Because I need some slop content for this channel. I'm a serious content creator, but I'm also a unserious content creator. Great Britain has a big problem with racism. Oh, Chad Logic rejoices. Chad Logic rejoices. Amazing. So chat logic does not seem to have anything interesting to add. So we're gonna move on to Blair White. Blair White always gives me a lot of views. I can always farm Blair White for views. The Blair White project. They made the Odyssey trans and black. Oh no. The Odyssey has been made black. Oh no. Black characters in the Odyssey? How dare you? How dare you? Why does she look so happy with trans athletes being banned? What the fuck? Why does Blair White look so happy about it? This is so messed up. There's a lot of homophobia coming from Ark cast. Maybe that might help. Yeah? Lily Tino is back, worse than ever. I don't know what that means. They never learn. Okay, let's watch something new. Meltdown incoming. Oh, trans athletes banned. Why does Blair White look so smugly happy about trans women being banned from performing sports? This is so messed up. But you know what? Whatever. It's Blair White. It's par for the course. So let's watch it. Maybe Blair White will notice me, senpai or whatever, and make a demeaning thumbnail of me. Because Blair is an athlete, so she's good now. That makes sense. Alright, let's watch. So messed up. But you know, it's classic Blair White, I suppose. What is this weird outfit? Is Blair White trying to be shoe on head now?
Trans athletes have been banned.
It is okay. Great.
Terrible. It opens up the avenue across the country for gender-based sports bans, and it is disheartening.
Why is I mean, it kind of is, considering that it's not evidence-based. It's just basically based on transphobia. It's just, that's it. There's no evidence. There is no investigation that happened that, oh, trans women have some huge advantage over women in sports. There's just none of that.
As a society, have we gone backwards? Why as a society are things getting worse? It's just so heartbreaking and devastating to me.
One thing is abundantly
Probably because Americans voted in a lunatic into the White House.
clear. Trans people are still not viewed as human beings in this country.
You know, I just love seeing my ops take L's. Trans athletes
Who cares about if people are banned from doing sports? It's all about owning the people that you don't like, because that's all that it's about, isn't it?
have been banned. You know, I just love seeing my ops take L's. That's karma. I just spilled my coffee. Oh my God. Oh well. As of yesterday, the last day of Pride Month, which they really wanted that one to sting. It was ruled that trans girls and women cannot compete on women's sporting leagues and teams in colleges and public schools. So we're thinking middle schools, high schools, the public school system. And
why? That makes no sense. What's the justification for it exactly?
And this is an amazing W for common sense, obviously.
Why? Why is it an amazing W for common sense? What the fuck does common sense even mean here? What's the common sense here? Like, walk me through the common sense. Common sense is such a buzzword. I swear to God.
W for me personally, because it is
Why? why the fuck is this a W for you personally that you don't have children just doing sports together at school? What's the W personally?
Interesting to be somebody who was really, you know, whistleblowing on this topic. And
what do you mean whistleblowing? It has been a huge topic it has been one of the main topics in media, main topics in politics for years now. What do you mean whistleblowing? Are you stupid? The whistleblower.
Pushing for legislation for so long, and
you've been pushing for legislation? How? By being a pundit online? You haven't pushed for shit. What do you mean? What do you mean pushing for legislation?
It happened. The New York Post cover here has a picture of Leah Big Ass Thomas, and it says "No boys allowed," which is, again, last day of Pride Month. They want.
So, okay, first of all, does Blair White consider herself a guy? That's the first question that I have. Second question is, Leah Thompson was not even winning competitions. She was 5th or something. Right?
Wanted that to sting. But not everybody is as happy as me. There are hundreds, if not thousands, of people on social media.
Yeah, trans people are not happy about trans people being discriminated against. Not all trans people are happy about their rights being taken away. What?
On TikTok that are expressing they're upset with this, they're outraged with this, and they're low IQ with this.
Okay, why low IQ? Are you gonna explain? Are you gonna elaborate? Of course not. Of course not.
Today, the Supreme Court ruled that states can ban transgender women and girls from women's and girls' sports teams. Today is
You have low IQ.
the last day of
But
Pride.
that's pretty rich coming from Blair White, by the way. Accusing anybody else of having a low IQ. Am I still on HRT? Kind of, yeah. I'm taking blockers, but I've left my estrogen in Poland because I forgot it. But yeah, I am on HRT. I got my hormones. Yeah.
And
I was able to start again.
thing is abundantly clear. Trans people are still not viewed as human beings in this country across
Like, it's ridiculous that a trans person, a big trans pundit, would be happy that trans rights are being taken away and say that it's not just a win for common sense, whatever the hell that means in this context, and a personal win, and whoever is unhappy about trans girl, not just trans women being banned from professional sports, but just trans girls being banned from school sports, which genuinely nobody should give a fuck about. That's considered a win, and whoever is upset about it has low IQ. No elaboration, no explanation needed. That's just, oh my god, American pundits.
World.
It's crazy how dramatic, like, regardless, to address what she's actually saying, I'm not even trying to be shady. I'm really not.
Oh, you're not even trying to be shady. Are you saying that normally you are trying to be shady? Like, when you say I'm not even trying to be shady, that kind of implies that you normally are, which that's a little bit of a silver part, that you usually do try to be shady, but whatever. It's not super cold, but I'm kind of wearing this because I don't know.
You know how I'm always talking about the literary crisis in America and the world right now? I think that
Hey, you're a huge example of that. You're a huge example of that crisis.
That's actually one of the biggest problems in politics and in public debate as well, is that people just don't know what words mean. So when you talk,
I know, Blair White. I know and then those illiterate people become huge pundits with how many subscribers? Over 1 million, I think. That is a problem, yeah.
talk about trans rights, do you actually know what those words mean? Do you know what trans means? First of all, half of them never do. And then do you
know what trans means? Trans means that you identify as your gender identity is different from that assigned to you at birth. That's it. That's basically it. What do you think it means? What do you think trans rights means? Blair Witch jump scare. I know, right?
actually know what a right is? Competing in sports is far from a right.
Why? What do you mean? Equal participation in events is not a right? What is it? Yes, it is. For all citizens to be able to participate in activities equal, that is a right. You're stupid. Again, illiterate people mock other people's IQ and make fool of themselves.
Far from a right.
Well, what is it then?
You do not have some sort of God-given right to play tight end. You know what I mean? On a sports league.
Jeez. I don't want to be able. I don't want to be ableist.
Of your choosing. Like, it's just, I don't even know what a tight end is. This to me feels like the only W the trans community has had in a long time. It will only stand to benefit trans people if the American public is not just observing them be so unfair and unsportsmanlike and
unfair. This person came in 5th in competitions. This is so dishonest. This is so shitty.
Annoying and entitled all of the time. Okay.
Yeah, so annoying, so entitled. I just, how dare you want to participate in the same things as everybody else? So entitled. What the fuck?
Hey, hold up, because I was not expecting this to be as good as it is. Today.
Why is it good?
This video is sponsored by Temu, and they just launched a new offer for new users where you can get $20 off when you spend just $20 and one.
Holy shit. Blair White is such a disgusting piece of shit. Such a dishonest, disgusting piece of shit. They always go to Leah Thomas, by the way. Without fail. It's their only example that they can give. It's the only example they know. And that's not even a correct example, so...
Cents. So basically that's getting $20 handed to you just for using the app. I can't even hold up all of the items that I got, so bear with me. But I grabbed all these amazing items from Temu and the price is ridiculously good. Let me show you some of my favorites. So this table is definitely my favorite purchase, and it normally costs about $54.49 in the Temu app. I find more stuff that I didn't even know I needed, but I do. And I think this is a cheese grater. I don't know, I really wanted it. Light up makeup mirrors. This is probably my favorite. The podcast.
It's really ironic for Blair White to be mocking anybody's IQ, honestly.
Only going to benefit y'all to not be on Front Street looking stuck on stupid all the time.
It's only going to benefit you not to want rights. So just go back to the closet, then you'd benefit the most, right? Just don't be openly trans. Just pretend to be cis. It's good. The benefit's gonna skyrocket. I know. It's whatever. It's like brain dead sponsorship for a brain dead content creator.
This to me felt more of a trans rights win than a loss. Yeah,
of course. The rights being taken away is always a win for advancing, right? What next? What else would advance trans rights? Oh, banning access to hormones. How's that? Maybe that would advance trans rights. How about trans? I don't even. What the fuck? What is this? I know that your rights are being taken away, but have you considered that it actually is a gigantic win? Temu is such a good match for her. I don't even know that company, to be quite honest with you. I've never even heard of this Temu thing before. Never even heard of this bullshit before.
Because it's not a right to play a sport, like I said, and also I think that even if we have to,
it's not about a right to play a sport. Blair White is either dishonest or really stupid. I think it's both. I've never heard of them. It's either dishonest or stupid or both. Okay? It's not about a right to play a sport. It's about a right to be able to participate in sports, just like everybody else. Okay? You have a right to participate in sports, just like everybody else. Especially on a school level. Especially on a school level. Should be a no-brainer, right? Come on.
force y'all to be fair and have some semblance of equality in your perspectives and your behavior, even if it's forced, it's still going to be a good thing for trans people. It's going to improve their.
What's fair about this? What are you basing this fairness on, Blair White? Nothing. You base it on far-right talking points and nothing else.
Public image, people not seeing them do this all the time.
The U.S. Supreme Court announced today.
A public image. So basically, trans people are icky, and it would benefit you if you just not be so icky to the public. Just go back to the closet, unironically. That would be the biggest advancement of trans rights. Trans rights going straight back into the closet.
They are upholding the ban on trans athletes from playing in women's and girls' sports. Let's be clear. These people do not give a damn about protecting children or women. It's all about...
True. I agree. What's going to be Blair White's counter-argument is going to be something along the lines of, oh gosh, this person has so many tattoos. They look so ugly and they have low IQ and common sense.
About protecting children until its children are actively bombing, starving, and exploiting for resources and power. It's about protecting women and children until it comes to putting away little pets and believing victims of sexual assault.
Just like I said in the last episode, one of the biggest signs of low IQ is an inability to understand one-to-one comparisons.
There you go. I knew it. There you go.
Do I understand the sentiment when you're like, well, how about the protection of victims of people? I'm sure you're implying the Epstein list. I care about that. I'm sure you're talking about women and girls being bombed in Gaza and other places. I care about that. But to compare that to a domestic policy that just affects states in America about middle school and high school sporting teams, to pretend as if it's some sort of humanitarian crisis on the same scale actually diminishes.
Yeah, nobody says that. Yeah, the fact that Blair White complains about people not understanding what is being said, low IQ, very ironic. I'm just gonna say, very ironic.
Whatever care you purport to have for the things you were just comparing it to unsuccessfully. Another sign of the low IQ cannot understand that multiple things can be true at once. We need to handle those other issues.
Maya Mayor says, how would it benefit trans people to have the highest court in the land affirm the claim that trans people are cheating in women's sports? It would benefit trans people, of course, because the public image, you see. course.
And we need to make better choices in those other areas, but also trans women shouldn't be in women's sports. Like those two things can be.
Why should trans women not be in women's sports? You haven't made a case for it. You've not made any arguments for it. You just say that anybody that disagrees with you has low IQ. That's it. That's all we've done. And then you said common sense.
Be true at the same time.
Why as a society have we gone backwards? Why as a society are things getting worse? It's just so heartbreaking and devastating to me that we're advocating all the time for trans rights when trans people only make up 1% of the population. Trans people do 0% of harm to you.
This is the failed worldview of the modern progressive, the modern leftist. They have.
What's the failed worldview exactly? Are trans people not 1% of the population anymore?
This completely false, nowhere rooted in truth belief that progress is always forward. So whatever we're doing.
What? I have to listen to that again. It's like, I'm sorry, Blair White complaining about other people's IQ is it's comedy to me. What?
In a layer rooted in truth belief. They have this completely false, nowhere rooted in truth belief that progress is always forward. So whatever we're.
What the fuck? Does Blair White know what progress means? Let's progress definition. Progress is the movement forward or onward toward a goal, or the gradual development, growth, or improvement of something to a higher, better, or more advanced state. It implies a positive change, whether in personal skills, science, or society. What? Okay, we're gonna listen to it again. We've listened to a definition of progress. Now I guess we're gonna listen to this again because it has got to be one of the stupidest things that I have heard today. It is one of the stupidest things that I've heard today.
Nowhere rooted in truth belief that progress is always forward. So whatever we're doing in a linear, time ain't even linear if you actually understand time, but they're not even there. In a linear, time ain't even linear if you actually understand time.
Holy shit. Right after she talked about people not knowing what words mean. I know.
But they're not even there. They just feel like whatever we're doing going forward, changing norms, changing rules, progress, trans rights, progress is not always forward. Sometimes
progress is not always progress. She listed progress. She listed
norms, changing rules, progress, trans rights.
This is just empty babble. This is just empty babble for idiots.
Progress is not always forward. Sometimes progress is putting it in reverse, beep, beep, and being like, you know what? Maybe we shouldn't be going 120. Maybe we should be going 85. We can still.
That's not progress.
Go forward, but sometimes the best ideas don't come from just this incessant push for this idea of progress, which is
sometimes progress is not progress.
completely, that word is so subjective. And I would actually say the most up to date, in the know people, you could otherwise describe them as the most progressive, are actually exactly where I am at on this issue and where people.
Blair White is actually the most progressive of all people. Holy shit.
Who watch this channel are at on this issue, and most of America, which is like, wow, we really, you know, went a little overboard with the trans athlete thing. Let's reverse. So.
What? How do you know that most of America feels that way?
They're not putting you in camp, sweetheart. Save the theatrics.
Nobody's saying anything about camps. Again, what the fuck? What do you mean in camps? What the fuck does that even mean? Blair White is so stupid, I swear to God. One of the stupidest people I've ever had the displeasure of watching.
Ain't nothing worse than like a cucked out man like that. Like, I can't.
Today's Supreme Court decision upholding the transgender sports ban is awful. It is terrible. It opens up the avenue across the country for gender-based sports bans.
We already have gender-based sports bans. I can't. We've always had them. Like, this opens us up to a whole new thing. What do you mean? Sports have been segregated since women even had the right to play sports. Like, this new ruling is awful. It opens up the window to how it's always been. Yeah. The time of how it's.
So basically, Blair White says that trans women are not with. Wait, I have to ask this from time to time because I'm confused. So is Blair White basically saying that she's a man? Is that it? Does Blair White just see herself as a man that kind of, I don't know, cosplays as a woman? Does Blair White see herself as some drag performer? Oh, camps are for immigrants now. That's true.
It's always been, where there was like no issues like this at all. And when y'all didn't even have complaints, by the way.
Yes.
Like, these people act like they've been screaming from the rooftops since the civil rights movement about trans sports equality. Don't act like this isn't a buzzword topic you picked up in 2019 and just can't let it go.
I'm sorry, who picked it up? Is it trans people that picked it up, or maybe bigots that suddenly woke up that sports exist and decided that trans people need to be banned from it on a school level of all levels?
It's like those daddy issues, you just can't let them go.
What the fuck? What? What do you mean daddy issues? Her jokes are just not funny. They're very forced. They're very stupid.
Let this one go.
And don't have anything to do with the topic at hand.
And that's my advice to all trans activists or people who want to advocate on behalf of trans people.
Yeah, that's your advice. Perfect thumbnail right there. That's your advice for trans activists and for trans people that want trans rights. You know, that is her advice for those who fight for trans rights. How about you just don't? Right? Like, the best way for you to advance trans rights is to not fight for trans rights. Right? It's just screw trans rights. How about trans wrongs? Or something stupid. Like, come on.
The allies. Right? It's just, let this.
It's just so stupid. I'm sure she's legitimately trans, but she sucks up the conservatives so much that she accepts being labeled as a man. Yeah, it's ridiculous. And then she says she talks of common sense, low IQ, and not understanding what is being talked about.
This one go. Ain't nobody except.
You just you know, if you're fighting for human rights, just let this one go. Just forget about human rights for a moment.
The AGP You know what I
Oh, AGP, the made up thing. That's great. That's great that Blair White jumped on the AGP thing. Why am I even surprised?
mean? Bricked up, manlied up, there because
Bricked up.
they're interested in women. Those are the only ones even wanting to play sports, otherwise known as cross-dressers by a saner time.
Oh. So, okay, let me get this straight. The argument that Blair White is making is that any trans woman that wants to participate in women's sports is actually a bricked up, perverted man who is attracted to women, a cross-dresser. And Blair White is basing this assessment on. I have no clue. I have no clue what she's basing this assessment on. But yeah, it's just specifically all trans women that want to participate in sports are just cross-dressers. Blair White has declared so because fuck if I know. Hell if I know. Uh,
5 minutes ago. So when I see stuff like this, when y'all are fighting for these big backs to go in these women's spaces, you know what I mean? Change with Riley Gaines and stuff like that. I'm not seeing it as you advocating for me, trans rights. What do you mean? You're advocating for men to oppress women. That's because that's what's happening when men are in women's sports.
so trans women are not women, according to Blair White. Because all trans women that want to take part in sports are just cross-dressers. Of course.
It is what it is. And I've talked about the science
Oh,
so many
that's your argumentation. It is what it is.
times that I don't even want to get into it. But I will just say this
You haven't talked about the science, actually. No, you haven't.
one thing people don't really talk about, which is that
Oh, what is it? What is the thing that people don't talk about?
literally it's only within the first 2 years of puberty that the differences between males and females in athletics and in bodily development, where it's the same as it's like the disparity is the biggest it's ever going to be for the rest of their lives.
The SCOTUS
What? Citation needed.
ruling today banning
Sorry, what?
Biggest it's ever in bodily development, where it's the same as it's like the disparity is the biggest it's ever going to be for the rest of their lives.
Citation needed. Of course, I'm not gonna get any, but yeah, you're really talking about the science, huh? You're really talking about the science.
The SCOTUS ruling today banning transgender girls from participating in girl sports, which they are, is devastating news, and it's not surprising. There's been this focus on this small group of people, this unsupported minorized group of people.
That means correct.
Continuously pressing and pushing hatred and vitriol against them for who they are, rather than accepting and allowing them to be people in the world, which, again, they are.
I feel like the leftist progressive view of trans people is just as dehumanizing and taking...
It's so dehumanizing to want to allow people to participate in the activities that everybody else can. Yeah, it's so dehumanizing. It is so dehumanizing to not treat trans women as if they were men. It is the most dehumanizing shit ever, right? Like, it doesn't get any more dehumanizing than this. It doesn't get any more dehumanizing than this. What a joke.
Away of the personhood of trans people as somebody on the other end who is maybe in a far right way doesn't see the humanity of
What the fuck?
Trans people. Part of being human is living in a society following rules, employing common sense. You are taking
Yeah, common sense is when you discriminate against a group of people and ban them from participating in things that everybody else can participate in. You know, it's just part of living in society. When Nazi Germany banned Jewish people from going to the park, sitting on certain types of benches, from going to the public pool, that was not discrimination against Jewish people. That was just part of living in society and employing common sense. Of course. Thank you, Blair White. Thank you. It's just, you've opened my eyes. Thanks, Blair White.
those things away from trans people and saying they don't actually need to have those. You are taking away their personhood and their ability to live in a society and be cohesive and adapt and integrate to wider society.
Yeah, just adapt into wider society that just does not accept you and does not allow you to participate in everything like everybody else does. Just accept that, right? It's just, you know, when there was segregation and Black people were segregated in society, that wasn't discrimination. That was just integration into wider society. That makes sense. That makes perfect sense. Of course. Of course.
You are the biggest impediment telling these people who already have issues that fairness is not something they need to concern themselves with. That
What do you mean?
Equality.
Since when have sports ever been about fairness?
Just means rights for them, special rules for them. No, they need
special rules is being able to participate in the same things as everybody else. That's special rules.
Need to follow the rules and operate within fairness and common sense, just like everybody else.
What the fuck does that mean? Operate within fairness and common sense. Those are empty slogans. Those are meaningless slogans.
Society, because we're all, you know what I mean? Here's the thing: is we all
live in a society.
A teardrop away from a cry. We are all about to snap and be like, you know, fairness is so.
Ooh, what the fuck are you talking about? What fairness are you talking about?
Strung together in such a sensitive way across society. It's like you see all these people getting away with fraud, living in $1 million houses in Minnesota. You see, you know, politicians getting away.
Oh yes, trans girls wanting to participate in girls' sports at school is like billionaires getting away with fraud. This person has over 1 million subscribers. This person has a loyal, dedicated viewership, apparently. This person's really, really popular. It's incredible.
Away with things, and the average person is like, they're almost ready.
What the fuck is the average person? So I best switch to slop mode. The average. How do you know how an average person feels about anything? How would you know, Blair White?
To agree with these selfish people and be like, okay, F fairness, and then society breaks down. We all have to operate within fairness.
Yes,
or
so if trans girls were able to participate in girls' sports at school, society would break down. That's common sense.
We're all just, everything's just going to hell. And it's crazy how fairness only ever even applies to them. It's like fairness is just me getting what I want when you're in the trans community. It's just you giving me rights. It's like not me having to balance what I could or should do with the fairness of the women in the league, with the girls I'm playing against.
Trans women and trans girls are women and girls. What do you mean?
In school, my advice to trans activists, to people who feel like they're just trying to be friends of trans people, which is a lot of people.
Yeah, my advice for people that want to advance trans rights. Don't. That's the advice.
People in this video are just, guys or girls that are just, let me fight for trans people. You're not doing what you think you're doing. It's not hitting on anything. Let this issue go. This is like a 90-10 issue. I was going to say 80-20. Now this is like a 90-10 issue. And I know
citation needed.
Y'all think that you're so ahead of it all the time, but you're actually behind society on this one. You actually are. So catch up. Thank you so much to Temu for sponsoring this episode of the podcast. Check them out.
This is a podcast? A solo podcast? What the fuck? This video has 90,000 views. So depressing. Valuable stuff has less views than this, and it's depressing. Not the Chinese dropship scam that has been known to steal financial info and have products with dangerous levels of chemicals. Really just saying yes to anyone now? Yes. Oh, people do not like that sponsor. Oh girl, Tamu, really? I appreciate you standing up for bio women, whatever the fuck that means. And I agree with you on so much. That is really low of you. Tamu and Shine are absolutely evil. You definitely don't need anything from there. A lot of nasty chemicals considering China doesn't have the same regulations that we do. In sports, who said anything about fairness? There's no fairness in competition. The only thing fair is all women or all men. Trans league, yeah, separate but equal. God damn. It's always ends up being some weird form of separate but equal, doesn't it? How's everybody? Are you still here? Are my lovely viewers still here? How did you like my little review of my little checkup on this person? How do we feel about things? We good? We feeling good? Oh yeah, Anna Kasparian defended Platner in the weirdest way possible by saying that the allegation is suspicious because the woman that accused them of assault did not call the police right away. So, it's just believe all victims unless it's a victim accusing the politician that I like. Then screw you for not having called the police right away. What? This is so messed up, but that is the landscape that we're living in. Wait, hold on. Daedalus. Yeah. Leftists in American political. God, I want to do my own rant about leftists and political life in America, especially when it comes to the lens of Ukraine, because it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous how American leftists, I'm not gonna say all of them across the board, because I know many good, nice leftists in America, but a lot of those tanky adjacent, Marxist Leninist adjacent people simply, they are insane when it comes to the topic of Ukraine. I'm just gonna say that. They really worship the Soviet Union. They somehow, I don't know why, think that Russia today is indicative of some socialist project. They adopt this very bizarre anti-war quote unquote stance, which means that if a country gets invaded by a bigger neighbor, then too bad. You get no support, you don't get any aid, or you don't get any fulfillment of obligations as an ally, because anti-war means anti-war. Screw victims of aggression, right? Anti-war means you just leave countries that get invaded to rot.
Right. And that's not because she's reasonable. It's because everyone else is beyond the pale.
Who's she?
And there's always this pushback. There's always this, we have to get rid of the far left, that kind of attitude whenever you see leftists gain a little bit of political power. And the answer,
I mean, I don't think those people are even leftists. I don't consider them to be like I consider them to be lunatics, Ridiculous. It is really, really ridiculous how uneducated these people are. I don't even think that a lot of the Marxist-Leninist people know how they'd like to implement the ideas in the American landscape to begin with. They don't know what to do. They have no idea for American socialism. Like, I'm sorry, but the US is not 19th century Russia, which was mostly agrarian. That's not the situation that America is in. Like, America is not post World War II China. The Americans are not okay. Yeah, it feels that way sometimes. Or at least when it comes to the Marxist-Leninist crowd. Right? It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, and nobody should stand for it. Let me see what Dadless has to say.
beyond mere self-interest, that we owe each other humility and the ability to accept one another and work together to better ourselves and to live better lives and to build better lives. And there is a degree, like, particularly after the mass at the National Cathedral when Trump was inaugurated, where people are talking about the sin of empathy. And empathy is not a sin. It's not a sin in Christianity. It's not a sin in everyday life. It is not something you should be ashamed of. It is something that we should embrace together, like working together and caring for one another and building community, and that ripples out and it extends out. So
I mean, I agree.
One of the things we're going to start looking into is how to foster that sense of community in the communities that we're in, and build that idea and move beyond that. And we're going to start seeking out resources to do that. Because I think that concept of be subject to one another is something that we should put central in American political life again, and it's not. And that is kind of the thought I want to leave you with tonight. Like I said, this is going to be a very short stream. I'm not feeling well. My stomach's a little upset. That is the thought I want to leave you with tonight. So I know this was agonizingly short. I will have something longer for you next week. Probably something a little more fun. Thank you all for coming out tonight.
These are not
like
fun.
the stream. And have a good night. Go walk. Take your medicine. Take care of yourselves.
Don't be bombed. Which reminds me. Oh, wait, it's gone? Oh, no, we're safe now. We're okay now. The missiles have stricken, and now it's all... It's done. It's a done deal. It's a done deal now. Right. Let's do one more news thing. Because I've done one single news story about China. I've done a Blair White. But now we're gonna do one more news story. How's that sound? I'm not being very effective with my time, I feel like. Oh. Okay, let's see about this. Sanctions are always good. Enforcing sanctions, secondary sanctions, going after the shadow fleet, those are good things. Because I will say that Russia has been doing a remarkably, horrifyingly good job at avoiding sanctions. Russia has been very efficient. Four U.S. senators said on Friday that they had reached agreement with the Trump administration to move forward with updated legislation on the Russia sanctions. So we're about to see some new sanctions from the United States. I would actually like to see some more push for aid, but we're never gonna get that from Donald Trump. And at this point, I kind of always expect the sanctions from Trump to be limp-wristed. I expect them to be extremely limp-wristed because at the end of the day, Trump is very well predisposed towards Vladimir Putin. So I'm kind of skeptical, if you know what I mean. We're proud to announce that we have reached an agreement with the Trump administration to move our updated Russia sanctions legislation forward. We are very pleased with the significant progress and expect to roll out the legislation very soon. Senators Richard Blumenthal and Lindsey Graham, Jen Shaheen, and Roger Wicker said in a statement. As Russia intensifies its slaughter of civilians, well, it's just been attacked just tonight. I'm probably gonna look into how many people were hurt in today's strike. It is imperative that the legislative and executive branches work together to create tools to exact a heavy price on those who buy Russian oil and natural gas, fueling the Putin war machine. The statement said the White House did not immediately respond to a request for comment. So there we are. There we have it. We're gonna see if this is gonna actually translate to any oh, whoa, thank you for rating me. That was thank you. We just checked up on your stream. Thank you very much. We're talking about sanctions. We're talking about very many different things. Hello. How are you? How are you this fine morning? I mean, it is morning for me. It was night full of missiles, delayed air sirens, and stuff like that. Seems like YouTube has not caught up with the thing. There you go. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. We're reading about possible new sanctions, although, as always, when it comes to Trump's administration, when it comes to Trump doing anything to aid Ukraine and to punish Russia for its invasion of Ukraine, I will believe it once I see it, and not before. We've seen this song and dance quite a lot of times before. So, so yeah, the White House did not respond for requests for comment. And that's it.
Oh, Barry!
Whoa. Did we just receive a dono? Did we just receive a generous donation? Thank you for the $25, Glitchmaster. Reward for surviving yet another strike from Russia. Keep it up. Thank you. I will do my best. Thank you for... Thank you, thank you, thank you. I will do my best to survive. Today, tomorrow, and the day after. I will do this. All right, let's finish this up. Graham, who met with Ukraine President Volodymyr Zelensky in Kyiv on Friday, said that the agreement meant the legislation could move forward, giving Trump fresh tools to help end the war, which is now in its 5th year. We've reached an agreement with the White House on a version of the Russian sanctions bill that they will support. It means it's going to become law, he told reporters wrapping up his 10th visit to Kyiv. We'll see. We'll see what this actually will translate to. The legislation which Graham has been working on with fellow Republicans and Democrats for months would impose sanctions on countries doing business with Russia, including buyers of its energy exports, like what they're going to sanction China. Over Moscow's failure to negotiate a peace deal with Ukraine, Russia invaded Ukraine in 2022. Actually, Russia started its invasion in 2014, but that is neither here nor there. The full-scale invasion started in 2022, but yeah, Russia attacked Ukraine in 2014. That is what happened. The timing could be difficult given renewed pressure on oil prices amid fresh military strikes on Iran. Yeah, that's gonna put a damper on it. I wouldn't be surprised if America did not do a switcheroo and decided to actually lift oil sanctions on Russia once again because Trump fucked up and cannot, for the life of him, end the war in Iran. He just cannot do it. Washington last month allowed a license permitting countries to purchase Russian seaborne oil to expire that had been intended to help vulnerable countries deal with the energy crisis. And we're about to have a new energy crisis. So that's about to happen. That's a thing that's about to happen. So right? Zelensky hailed Graham's support in a post on X, underscoring the importance of ratcheting up pressure on Moscow. I don't have much faith in this, and we'll see. I'm always skeptical when it comes to America pressuring Russia, enacting any sort of sanctions, enacting any sort of support, especially support. I am very skeptical. I think you'll forgive me for being skeptical, right? I think you'll forgive me for being skeptical of yeah. All right. That's news. We've done a nice stream. It's been like 1 billion hours. And now I'll have to go. I'll see you tomorrow. I hope you've enjoyed the stream. Have you enjoyed the stream? Was it nice? What is it? Was it an excellent stream? I promise to do a bigger, better with... I'm trying to break it up to blocks like art, game, news. I've not been able to do it tonight, but I promise I will do it next time. Thank you all so much for being here. I am gonna raid you into Galactic News Network. Alright. Bye bye. Good night. Love to all of you. Good night.